Oh, hello, folks. Wow, what a busy night. What a busy night. I have been busy all day. Sunday is a regular work day for me, and it has been very energetic. I had no plans of doing an evening run, but when it comes to situations like this, when it comes to situations where my services are needed for the community, will drop everything and offer some valid opinions. So I think that's what you want, right? Dr. Octopus. Look, we're going to get right into this right now. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of comment checks here. What do we got here? Denobi, single songwriter. Look at that. I always wanted a 1/6 scale Howard Chan in cosplay as Doc Ock. My dream has come true. I do not know what that means. Don't understand because Howard Chan is Asian, right? Don't get it. Don't understand it. Hot toys shouldn't. What do we got here? Look at this. Oh boy, look at the comments here. What is this? Now look who showed up. Look at this. Look at this twit here. Look at this. The Hadalorian. We're not covering booby Fett in this episode, Mr. Hadalorian. This is a Spider-Man No Way Home, and we're going to offer some constructive criticisms to Dr. Otto Octavius. Hey, look, it's Doc Buck. Oh, Tutankhamun. Boy, what is this? My first time cat. This is not a midnight run. Look, let's be very clear. This is an emergency evening run scheduled because I heard the cries in the community and I had to step in. I had to chime. I had to really chime in. What is this here? What is this Bugman? What is this? Pawn's Army. Of course, you know that. Come on now. You know the pawns always go first. And in this situation, I would probably suspect so, Mr. Bugman.
In chess, the pawns go first.
If we work together, I'm sure we can come out of this very successful. All right, everybody jumping in. I see the climb count. I know there's a couple streams going on right now simultaneously. But look, how many collectors in the community do you know that are licensed in all three of the major IPs? Who out there has the phenomenal constructive criticism of Star Wars, Marvel, DC? That's right. Stick with me. We're going to get through this, right? This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Delaware midnight. Hey, look, it's midnight somewhere. All right. Is everybody coming in? It's climbing. Look, let's get right to it. Let's hear it. Of course, we're going to hear it. Let's get right into it. Dr. Octopus has just been announced in Hong Kong because it is Monday there right now. It's Monday, 11 a.m., right? Coming into noon. Typically, when I do a midnight run, it's midday, 2 o'clock, something like that. Somebody can help me out with that. Yes, we're going to talk about that too, Mr. Soul Nightmare. Yes, the classic suit Spider-Man, just the blogger photos are coming in too, so that just dropped in Hong Kong. From what I understand from my sources, it was actually released a few days ago, but today it's a work day and it's official. I want to say it was sent to the retailers on Friday. Their Friday, not our Friday. All right, here we go. 1 a.m. Dominican Republic checking in. Look, hey, I've been to Dominican Republic. Don't drink the water. Florida, head sculpt needs work, but we believe in you. But head sculpts. Throwing out that head sculpts need work. How many times have we heard the head sculpt needs work? We'll get to that, Mr. Nabe. We'll get to that. We'll definitely get to that. All right. I'll play devil's advocate. Let's just jump right into it. All right. This is the regular version of Dr. Otto Octavius, all right? There's a lot of pros, and there's probably going to be a few cons that I definitely do not disagree. The first photo that I got to see that was shared with me was, let me see if I can find it, was this one here. And this photo right here is extremely attractive. It's beautiful. It is this photo right here. This is the first photo I saw. Deluxe version. My mind, my gears, they start to roll. Boom, deluxe version. Ooh, I got it right. I theorized that with Dr. Octopus, we would get two different versions, the Stark Tech arms and the regular version. That's what I see. I tend to look for concerns. I really do. I don't just get everything. I don't just assume everything is great. On occasion, even if a figure is a little bit slightly challenging, I'll still be persuaded to purchase it. Looking at this photo right here, I'm not looking at the head sculpt. I'm looking at his body proportions. I think he's a little bit slim. Um, Alfred Molina is a little bit heavy set. In fact, in the movie, and I've only seen the movie twice. This is one of the rare occasions where I've only seen the movie twice, where I've seen the film twice in theaters. I feel that he was a little bit more heavier set. It's not a deal breaker, but I'm very meticulous when it comes to body proportions of when I purchase a 1/6 scale Hot Toys. If the person is skinny, I want a skinny figure. If the person is fat and I love that character, I want a fat figure entered in my collection. Same thing too. I don't discriminate between the male and a female. If a female is voluptuous on screen, I expect that to be translated into 1/6 scale. If it's an elderly lady like Leia, that's exactly what I expect. I didn't get that Last Jedi version of Leia, but Hot Toys did a phenomenal job capturing that body proportion. So I look at body proportions, things like that. The arms is one of my biggest gripes, right? The color palette, the red and the yellow stripes, spot on right there. I was like, all right, cool. And I never doubted Hot Toys on this. I never ever doubted that Hot Toys would get the color palette right. I'm thinking, what is this here? Deluxe version prices. I actually have the Hong Kong pre-order prices, which I've already converted with a 25% upcharge. Hey, Lauren, we'll get to that. I actually have the pricing already. Every figure in this movie will have a deluxe version. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Some folks may want the regular Dr. Otto Octavius version without the Stark Tech. I'm assuming that these arms would be detached, and that's how you would swipe it out. We go back over here, and let's just right here. You can see that it's really the arms. The only difference I can see between the deluxe exclusive version is the arms. In fact, you could, and how do you know that? Because deluxe version is always color coded. You see the gold. You see this right here where it says deluxe version exclusive. That's what you're going to be paying for, are the arms, the extra set of arms. Now, if you have imagination, if you have that spark of creativity, an extra set of mechanical arms in 1/6 scale can go a long way, right? I think dioramas, I think custom kit bashes. I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking Spiderman attached to a wall with some of those extra tentacles that you're going to get with the deluxe coming out of a window that you can make. You can get there's a couple customizers on Instagrams which I can't even think of and plug, but that's what goes through me. That's what's going through my gears, is that I look at the value, what those additional arms. I can have them with the with the Stark Tech arms, and have the regular arms not kept in storage, but utilized in a diorama or even a base or something to that matter. Yes, I mean this is you folks. You need to understand that Dr. Octopus is a very special character to me, right? It's one of those villains that I worship. You kids out there that are beating off to Boba Fett, I'll beat off to Dr. Otto Octavius. This is one of the best phenomenal villains out there, which is why I was so heavily disappointed with the attempt that was attempted by Toys Era and their version. Let me see here. Looking at some of the comments here. Does anyone of you ever buy? There are some folks that may benefit from the extra savings. Now, according to the numbers, it's about a $25 difference as far as the price. I would always go for something like this. I would definitely go with the deluxe version here. Let me look at some of these comments here really quick. I wonder if the shirt's going to be removable. All right. Questions are going to come in, and I'm going to do my darnest. I want to reach out and I want to answer questions in the audience, as long as you make it very constructive and very informative. If you're going to troll, I'm going to ignore you. But I really do want to. I want to share my thought process with the audience. I really do. I wonder if his shirt is going to be removable. Something like this, which hadn't even crossed my mind, is that if the mechanical arms detach from its body, that for me would be a stellar plus. That I don't know why you would want to remove the shirt unless you wanted to recreate the science experiment where he's attaching the arms. Whether or not these arms can detach, I would suspect probably not, simply because of I would assume the mechanical feature of detaching the regular arms and reattaching the Stark Tech arms, if that's what you're aiming to go for. So I would assume that these arms, that the shirt or his clothing is probably welded in, just like the steel belt that he has on there. All right, we got it. Look, I am not happy with this. Which one is it? Which is the one that gave me heartburn? All right, look. I'm not going to beat around the bush, right? This thing, this portrait right here, it gave me heartburn. All right, that's unacceptable, right? I look at it from both different angles here. They clearly are using the CAD design of the deepfake. This is essentially the deepfake Doc Ock, in the same manner that we are getting a deepfake Luke Skywalker. We are essentially getting a deepfake Dr. Octopus based on Alfred Molina. I looked at the production stills from the film. This is their intentions. When you take the glasses off, it breaks the illusion of the deepfake. It's not very good at all, right? All right, so this is splitting hair. Things like this, I'm going to ignore. The neck is too long. There's nothing wrong with the neck. That's nitpicking right there. No. The face is off right here. The face is off, but something happens when the glasses go back on. Look at what happens when these glasses go back on. When the glasses go back on, it becomes acceptable. At a scale from 1 to 10, with the glasses on, right? It hovers in my scale. It hovers between a 7 and an 8, because that is the deep fake sculpt and the look that they were going for. I think they did a decent job, not their best job. Again, I'll give them a little bit of leeway. This is a prototype. In recent year, not years, but in recent year, they have provided updates on improved head sculpts, something that most third-party companies don't even attempt to do. Bob Dylan, you're throwing a question here. A 3P will make fusion pylons, and I will buy it. A third party will make fusion pylons. I'm trying to. Oh, I know you're talking about when he gets the arms attached, right, Bob? Is that what you're? Because a third party will make fusion pylons, and I will buy it. So as the arms are in the back and he's attaching it, I'm assuming that's what it is. So let me see. What do we have here? This deepfake sculpt unreads your penance for making fun of the deepfake look, Luke. I don't think I was making fun of the deepfake Luke. I'm still buying it. I never said I wasn't buying the deepfake Luke. All right. It is clearly a deepfake Luke. If anything, the Star Wars community is going to get a kick to the shins, because the improved Luke that you kids out there were drooling over clearly has improved. Whether or not that will translate to the head sculpt, we shall see, Mr. Hader-Lorian. So I'm hearing a lot of rumbles. Toys R Us is better. Toys R Us better. I'll keep my Toys R Us. Toys R Us. Look, what you folks need is a jog going down memory lane. Let's show you what Toys R Us pumped out, shall we? Boom. That right there is your Toys R Us, right? That is a live feed right behind me. See the little camera right there? And this is something that I've noticed within the community. We tend to forget things, right? That train wreck you see right there, that's your Toys R Us right there, right? And mind you, the amount of labor that I had to instill into this figure to even remotely, they didn't get the yellow striping. I'm still I had to modify the arms with guitar wiring right here. I had to drill through all the connector nodes to get the arms, because I'm, like I said earlier in the stream, I'm very meticulous about these mechanical arms. These mechanical arms have cables that run through it. Brett Denobi is Hot Toys including cables? Well, you know what? Let's find out. Let's find out if Hot Toys is making that effort. And if you can clearly see, there's examples of micro wires that are protruding through the arms, right? If you can see it right there, it's things like that. That's what I'm talking about, right? That right there is the difference, right? Of purchasing a licensed Dr. Otto Octavius and then convincing yourself that the Toys R Us is a better quality, because it's not. You're essentially just lying to yourself, because if you're in the business of curating Odin's treasury, then you're essentially collecting fakes.
Odin's treasures.
Fake. Most of the stuff in here is fake.
Yeah. I'm not in the business to collect fakes. Essentially what has happened is that the Toys R Us has now evolved into a fake, because now we have a licensed product. So if you want to keep convincing yourself that the fake version is better than the licensed version, even with the controversial head sculpt, by all means, then you're just essentially lying to yourself, because Toys R Us didn't knock it out of the park either. That's not Alfred Molina right there. Not by a long shot. Nope. Nope. So, if you want to convince yourself that this one is better, then you're an idiot. You're essentially an idiot, and then it doesn't make any sense. It does not. Let's jump back into the comments, because I know I came in this prepared. Hit me. The unmasked Green Goblin is, I mean, what do we have here? Those wires. Otherwise, yes, I'm meticulously anal. Yes, you have to have the wires. Otherwise, those ball joints are never going to stay aligned. And this is something that I already see with the Hot Toys version. That right there on the screen is a live feed to the Toys R Us. And when we get to a couple shots here, which I am essentially drooling. Here's another one right here. So this right here. So folks, make no mistake, I am not defending this head sculpt. This head sculpt is extremely controversial. But could they improve it from the road down? I want to believe so. I have no evidence. I have no proof. I want to believe that they're going to improve this. Without the glasses, it's clearly on a scale from 1 to 10. I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a 4. But again, playing devil's advocate, it's not like Toys R Us did anything better. In fact, if anything, the more I keep bouncing back and forth, the more I get annoyed with the Toys era and the lack of quality that that they did not take. Let's play again. Let's keep playing devil's advocate. The Toys era figure was not cheap. I paid with shipping from KG Hobby, November 2020. I paid $220, $220. Let's talk price in here. Let's talk some price in here. So, what do we got here? What do we got here? Deluxe version. Deluxe version is going to be estimated from Sideshow at around 285, 286. I got the Hong Kong dollars and I converted it with a 25% upcharge from what Sideshow is used to upcharging. So 2330 Hong Kong dollars converted into US currency. The deluxe version should retail at or around 285. That's with the 25% upcharge. Now, the regular version of, and it's this one right here. This one right here, Hong Kong pre-orders at 2030 Hong Kong converted with a 25% upcharge into US dollars. I got 261. So 260 to 265 Sideshow pricing is probably what it's gonna pre-order for. It's pretty accurate when I do the Hong Kong conversions to US dollars. I'm pretty spot on. If anything, I'm usually off by $5. So I saw on Instagram, oh, it's going to break $300. No, it will break $300 once you add tax and shipping. Yes, absolutely. The deluxe version is a $300 piece by, all the way. If you get it through Sideshow and you add some tax and shipping. The regular version, if you get it through Sideshow, you'll probably be breaking right at $300 once you add the tax and the shipping. Denobi is just a bypass. This is a 100% super buy. There is not enough. There is not enough presented in this for me to justify not picking it up. This is a legendary Spider-Man character. All right. This is. Do I agree with the prototype head sculpt? No, I absolutely do not. Can I live with this figure with those glasses on? Does it portray the deep fake look of Alfred Molina? I think it does. I genuinely think it does. Without the glasses, it breaks the illusion. But again, what are your alternatives in this market? Toys era? I mean, is it this one here? I mean, that's it right there. And again, I stress, I had to modify those arms with the cables, and I had to tweak the coat and so forth. That Toys era was expensive to me. When a black market pirated figure breaks $200, right? Why shouldn't I hold it to the exact same standards as Hot Toys? I paid $220. That was not a cheap figure, right? The bowl cut. Bowl cut is killing me. Bowl cut, is that how it was? But isn't that how it was seen in the movie, though? Maybe I need to jog the audience's memory here. Okay, how about that? It looks like the audience forgot what Alfred Molina looked like in Spider-Man No Way Home. So let me bring this up here. Share screen. Maybe it's this one here. I think it's this one here. All right. So we forgot again. Their mission was to capture the deep fake likeness of Alfred Molina in Spider-Man No Way Home. If you're using the reference of Spider-Man 2, then it would not be fair. You're comparing apples to oranges. It's kind of like it would be in the same manner of comparing a deep fake Luke to how Mark Hamill looked like in Return of the Jedi. That wouldn't be fair. It just wouldn't be. The Luke Skywalker deep fake is being based on his appearance at the end of the episode of Mandalorian season 2, where he comes in and steals Grogu away from Mando, right? So that was that's the portrayal that they captured, which I don't have a problem with. I'm going to end up buying the deep fake Luke anyway. I know some in the community were kind of bent out of shape, but when you go to Alfred Molina and the way that he was portrayed, right? Let me see if I can pull him up here. This is their job right there. Oh, let me see if I can. Let me see if it'll let me pull this up here. It won't let me. But anyway, that right there, it's not letting me pull up the photo. But that's what you're getting. Their job is, look, we're going to give you Dr. Otto Octavius from Spider-Man No Way Home. With the glasses, yes. It's a pass. It's a pass. If you're using the Spider-Man 2 goggles, which you can see Alfred Molina right there in those photos, then that wouldn't be a fair that would not be a fair comparison, because again, as an example, it would be like comparing deepfake Luke to Luke Skywalker to Mark Hamill, as it was in Return of the Jedi. Hello, Peter Face. Yep. Here we go. What do we got here? The hair is a perm. I'll take it. I will take it, because the alternative would be that Toys era right there, that live feed right there. That's your alternative. And mind you, those greedy pricks decided to reissue more of their schlocky, Dr. Mechanical Arms here, because they knew that once the licensed version came out, their version would be essentially obsolete, and it would be essentially thrown into the realm of fakery.
Odin's treasures.
Fake. That's the.
Are you in the business of collecting fakes? Can you imagine? Can you imagine if I brought home? Can you imagine if I brought home a fake Kate Spade bag? For those of you who may not know this, if I brought home a fake Kate Spade bag to the boss, do you know what would happen to me? do you know what would happen to me if I got her, the boss, a fake bag or purse? It wouldn't end very well. Here we go. Toys R Us used Alfred Molina for their sculpt. Look, this is what you got, all right? This is what you got. If you kids out there want to convince yourself that this potato sack of Mechanical Man is your best alternative, then you're like Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith, and you fall into the dark side, and you've devoted yourself to the dark side. Might be. I should have. Yeah, I should have just. I should have used a Louis. I should have used a Louis. Yeah. So let me get back to the photos. I want to get back, because I'm flabbergasted at the schlocky comments and discussions that are being had out there. Let me get back to the my photo album here, because here we go. All right. Let's go with this one here. Here's another thing that I noticed too. There is 3 points of articulation in each of the pinchers. For the Toys Era one, there's only 2, right? And it's extremely important. I mean, look, I want to sit down and I want to be a kid and I want to play with this. I'm all about accuracy. If you're gonna ask for the deluxe version of $285, I want the definitive version of Dr. Otto Octavius, the way he was seen in Spider-Man No Way Home. All right. I want those pinchers. I want him to be a threat. When I saw him get the Stark technology, when I saw him get converted, I was like, I was fearful for Peter, because I had delved into the history and the lore of Doc Ock for so many decades that I knew, even without an upgrade, I knew how much of a threat he is with those mechanical. I mean, these things can lift, tons above his head. It can pick up cars. It can pick up, concrete tubing. And when I saw that upgrade, I was fearful. I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know how Peter is going to survive this. That's how serious of a threat it was. Lane, buy this for me. PJ, you're out of control. And if there was one thing that I wanted, because I saw this in theaters twice, and I do not like going to the theaters during this whole climate, but I love this film. I really am passionate about this film. That there was one thing that all I wanted for Christmas was a Doc Ock with the Stark technology. That to me is on the same level of Doc Brown and Marty. If any of you who follow me, how important it is to get this type of mechanical arms, which they look beautiful. For me, it's all about the mechanical arms, the articulation, the dimension, how it wraps around his waist, the pinchers, the fact that they even went the extra effort to include the sphere. This right here, the little jabber there. That's an homage to Spider-Man 2. That right there. Do the arms light up? No, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay that at the end of the arms it does not light up. I'm fine with that. I wish it was a little bit. I wish they gave you the option of adding an LED or something, but I understand that the R&D on this is probably pushing its limits. And you're probably thinking, what type of R&D? If they can do Iron Man, you have to understand that these arms have to be able to articulate. They have to be able to somewhat support their weight. They have to represent their likeness as seen in the film. Hot Toys is asking you to support them with a $300 purchase, right? They're going to give it all their best. We've never had an Alfred Molina, Dr. Otto Octavius, in the decades that Hot Toys has been around. We're getting, I think, a superior licensed version for collectors. If you want to convince yourself that it's not worth the value because of this scary look, then you know what? I 100% respect you. My dream is to build the Sinister Six. Plain and simple. Can this licensed version of Doc Ock help me achieve that goal so that I can finish my Spider-Verse, which you can see right behind me, right? I think so. Because I essentially gave up working on this one. This one right here, I got tired of it. It was a lot of work. Drilling and threading, guitar wiring to achieve the look I wanted. The paint that I had to do, they didn't even get the paint application right. And what did I hear from the community? I should be thankful, right? Denobi, you should be thankful somebody's making a Doc Ock. You should be thankful. I would rather have nothing than have something that is schlocky and an insult to a legendary character. I've said that. I think I've said that. Nate, if you're listening, I think I'm pretty much have said that. Nate, what are you doing? Michigan Jet at what bus? Doc Ock for purchase. Nate, are you Nate, you're out of control. You're not helping, Nate. You're not. This isn't a real brainer for Hot Toys. Don't go far about Felinas for Toys era. So look, in the day, how many of you are actually even committed to the Spider-Verse right now, right? Aren't you kids out there doing cartwheels and beating off to Cad Bane right now? Isn't that what's trending right now? How many of you out there are genuinely committed to Marvel, right? Because it goes up and down, right? We're going through the Star Wars fever, and that's fine. I'm with this Star Wars fever too. Look, you can see the Star Wars shenanigans right behind me, right? I'm all about the Star Wars too. I also don't like to miss certain trains when they pull up in my station. It's like, hey, Denobi, would you like to purchase a Doc Ock? Oh, you're absolutely, because we may never, with Hot Toys, if there's one lesson that we can take from this, is never, I mean, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. And what that is, that phrase essentially means is that don't miss an opportunity, because you never know when you may get another opportunity. I've seen this happen so many times. I can't tell you how many times when I uploaded my DeLorean video back in 2015 or 16, and everybody said I was an idiot because I should have got the hover converted version. And Denobi, you should have just, I'll wait. Denobi, great unboxing video on the DeLorean. I'll just wait for the hover converted video. Yeah, no, it doesn't work like that, and it never showed up. I that's how I learn. That's I remember history. I really.
I was there, Gandalf. I was there 3,000 years ago.
Look, you guys are blowing up my comments. I can't keep up. Look, they're giving you an opportunity here to own a piece of history. Can the head sculpt improve? I want to believe so. In my heart, I want to believe that they'll work on this. I want to believe that they rushed out this proto job here, and it's going to get improved. Someone mentioned the hair. The hair is screen accurate. I'm not going to critique the hair, because to me the hair looks absolutely, it looks fine. My concerns is that they didn't capture the eyes right. The look around the eyes and the puffy cheeks. It has that weird uncanny valley deep fake look to it. Without those, it's crazy. Without those glasses, I have trouble believing that this is Alfred Molina. It's not. But as you're playing with your toys, this is a fair pass. It's not a 10 by no means. I love Dr. Octopus. I'm not gonna put this on the high scale, but this to me is still a 100% pass. Absolutely. What do we got here? What comments we got here? We got I was all over the place. PJ, you're killing me. I'm gonna have to, let me get PJ in here. I think I've provided enough. Hold on, I'm gonna get some PJ. Nate, are you around? Are you working? Nate, hold on, guys. Let me shoot out a couple invites here. Let me see if I can. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Where is Nate? Nate, where are you at? I don't know. Maybe you can join. Maybe you want to. Maybe you're working. I don't know. I live in the night. The night is my home. Who else is awake? I don't know. Let me see. I'm throwing out some Imperial probe droids out there so that I can be fair about this. I'm taking my time collecting. What's up? KG, where are you at, dude? I saw you. Let me bring in some fair, because I think I'm being too harsh. I'm being very aggressively defensive against my boy, Dr. Otto Octavius. So, KG, where are you? I don't think I've ever sent you a message. Have I, KG? KG collect. Oops, hold on. Let me send you something here. Sorry, folks, a little. Let me see if he wants to join. KG, you want to join or are you in bed? Are you kids in bed? Usually most of the East Coast streamers are in bed. Sorry, Denobi, I'm at work. That's okay. I always like to throw it out anyway. I always like to throw it out. Another question that was presented: will Doctor be able to stand on his arms and the questionable base? Right. Yeah. The whole hexagon base there. Yeah, it's a farce. I'm not gonna defend it. They've been doing that a lot with not just Marvel. They've been doing it with Star Wars, and they've been doing it where they build and they release these extravagant figures, and they give you these bases as more as of a token. I know certain collectors get very sensitive about it, but for me, it's not. KG's in. KG, come on in. Boom. Hello,
What's up,
sir.
Denobi? Hello.
What's up? Are you
It's
in the
great
East Coast?
being
I
here.
sent you a message. Are you in the East Coast or are you West Coast?
No, I'm West Coast. You're in Nevada, right? I believe you're in Nevada.
Yes.
I'm in California, so yeah, I'm West Coast right now.
This is
So, yeah.
Oh, this is your realm. I heard you spreading some thoughts on your Instagram video, and I had to stop. I wanted to go in kind of blind. I wanted to look at the photos, and I wanted to do a little bit of homework. You were just on my boy Anthony's Mafia. Is he still? Mafia. Is he still streaming, or is he done?
No, we just ended it. So then you sent me an invite. I'm like, I gotta join Denobi now because this is my first time on your live stream. Nice. So I'm honored.
I'm very spontaneous. You'll learn from me. If it's who's ever around, they can join. What is this? Hadelorian. Look at him. Hadelorian is mad that they haven't released anything from the Booby Fett show yet. He's still probably holding his breath over for Cad Bane. He's one of those Cad Bane holdouts. Someone needs to tell Hadelorian it's not called the Cad Bane, the pamphlet of Cad Bane. It's called the Book of Boba.
Yeah.
I'm picking on him. KG, you've had time to think about this, as we're soaking on it, as we're thinking about it. You question the head. Everybody's questioning the head, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's very divisive. Right now it's a controversial topic right now, I guess, in the hot toys game, if you would say. No, to me, honestly, I think the head sculpt needs improvement. I don't know. I haven't watched, because I know you just started doing lives right now, doing this live, so I wasn't able to watch it, but I don't know what your thoughts are on it.
That's okay.
But for me, I think it's okay. It's an okay sculpt, and I can see that you have the Toys Era version. I mean, they're very different. They're very different expressions, right? So, I mean, with the smiling, we know Hot Toys in their past experience with smiling head sculpts, with the recent one with what was it, the Ant-Man one. So I think if we look at Hot Toys' past history with figures like the Wasp and the Ray, their prototypes were horrible. They were not that great, and then Hot Toys heard that, like, you know what? Let's change it up. Let's change it up a bit. Then we got the final product. The final product was amazing. I know, Denobi, you have the Ray, and I'm sure you love the head sculpt. I mean, pretty much everybody loves the head sculpt, the Ray from Rise of Skywalker. So I think for this guy, it will be the same treatment. It definitely feels rushed. It feels like they needed to put something out because it was Spidey, Spider-Man No Way Home. It's the biggest thing that everybody's talking about right now. So for me, man, I personally think if that was the final product, I wouldn't be too mad. I honestly wouldn't be too mad. I mean, I love Doc Ock. I love Alfred Molina. I grew up with Spider-Man 2, the Tobey Maguire films. So this is a definite must-have. I don't know about you, Denobi, but I'm just grateful enough that we are getting some villains. That's all. I'm just grateful, man. People just, talk about bad things about figures like this, like, oh, head sculpt, it's not that great. But just be grateful that we are getting a villain. I mean, I saw that post on Jenking Wong's Instagram post, and it looks better from far.
It looks a lot better, doesn't it?
So
it looks a lot
better.
Yeah,
for sure. Looks a lot better.
It looks a lot better.
But I don't know about what are your thoughts, though? Because I didn't hear your thoughts on it. But what are your overall?
I was playing devil's advocate, right? I was looking at that. Because I came in. I had to come in very aggressively because I get annoyed when people are comparing. Oh, the Toys Era was better, and we in the collectors community, we tend to have a short memory, and that was why it was important to have a live feed behind me and have this train wreck right there to kind of remind folks that really you're arguing this licensed screen accurate version. The head needs improvement. I'm not going to disagree with that, against this thing right here, against a Toys R right there. You see?
Right.
And it opens up a fair debate, right? It opens up a true fair debate. It's like, oh, I forgot what the Toys R. I remember 2 years ago, because this was released in 2020, mind you. I remember it was good.
Right.
You know, people were sharing photos. Well, the collectors in the community need to be reminded that, okay, you're gonna argue this version against this, which isn't even, it didn't even come in screen accurate. I had to work on the mechanical arms. I had to thread guitar strings, guitar wire.
Right. Yeah.
I had to do custom on it to even to have it even remotely come close to Alfred Molina.
Right.
I'm judging this. What I'm doing is that I'm judging this deluxe version based off of Spider-Man No Way Home as fair as it should be.
Right.
The head sculpt is not perfect. Without the glasses, I give it a 4 out of scale from 1 to 10. 100% it's scale from 1 to 4. It's a 4. It's not Alfred Molina, but I understand the direction that they were going with, that their job was to capture the deep fake likeness of Alfred Molina as he was portrayed in the film. With the glasses on, the illusion is brought back to me, and I'm convinced that this is the version that I saw in the film. So for me, that's okay. For me, that's okay.
Right.
I don't have that option with the Toys era on the top screen right there.
Right.
The only thing I was told was that I was bitching too much about it, and I should be thankful and grateful that I have this. And my argument to that is like, look, this Toys R version has now morphed into a fake. We now have a licensed version, right?
Yeah.
And if you in the collector community, like I was mentioned earlier, I'm kind of repeating myself. If you're in the business of collecting fakes, if you're building Odin's treasury, then more power to you.
Odin's treasures.
Fake. Most of the stuff in here is fake. Weak.
Yeah, no, Genobi, I agree with you, man. I think, with the Goblin, a lot of, because I have a friend named Lael, and we were on the stream, and he is pretty content with the Goblin, and he's pretty content with the Dark Oak, and I understand this point where there's no need for getting, because if you do have the Toys R version, I just don't see the need of getting the new one if money's a problem, right? But to me,
but it wasn't cheap though, KG. That's what I said.
Yeah,
I paid $220. I paid $200.
Exactly.
So I don't understand this. It's when the third party pirated figure breaks $200, you're now in the realm of license. So how can you justify that? I don't understand.
Right.
I don't understand. Hey, DeLorean says, to be proper, you should put the glasses on. You have up.
Third party.
If the third party pirated Doc Ock figure came with glasses, I would love to put glasses on. But if I have to, you see what I'm saying? Where I had to spend labor and like the hat that he's holding a hat, that's not even his hat.
That's not even his hat.
Yeah. So the community doesn't understand. Like I put a lot of work to have it remotely come close to it, and it's not. And I think that's what tends to bug me. Again, if you're happy with the Toys era, and you've convinced yourself to a better version, then more power to you.
Yeah, of course.
But
I think
burned. Yeah, no, go ahead.
Right.
KB.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I've purchased a couple Toys era, and I've been burned in every situation where it's not what I get. It's not.
Right.
It's always a bait and switch, and nobody in the community talks about that. But you have these channels that support Toys Wonderland, and they spin the positivity on it. They don't tell you that when you end up pre-ordering it, you get a bait and switch. Nobody ever wants to talk about that. They convince themselves like, shit, I spent over $200 on it, and I now have to convince myself that this is a superior product.
Yeah, I mean, I think prior to these announcements that Hot Toys has made, the Doc Ock and the Green Goblin, I mean, these Toys era villains were going for crazy amount of prices, Denobi. I mean, the market prices on eBay. I mean,
Mhm.
I couldn't even find a goblin because I was trying to search for a Green Goblin. The best price I could find was a $500 piece, and that was like pre-owned, Denobi.
Oh,
And with
no.
this one, right? And it's interesting too. It's. I mean, for me, it's like, okay, would I rather pay $500 for a third-party figure that's pre-owned, mind you, and it's not even a Hot Toys quality, and I have to pay $500? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna step aside and just wait for Hot Toys to do it because honestly, these third-party figures, they look great. But now, since now Hot Toys has announced these, they sort of devalued them. Now they're sort of the fake versions, if you wanted to call them as well.
Mhm.
They're not the real deal. But I think, if people are content with the figures that they have, I mean, that's great. All power to you, man. I think, if money's an issue, I think what you have is the if you would call it the definitive Doc Ock to have.
I don't even think, but if you want to use the monetary gains as an example to purchase a pirated figure, wouldn't and you own it? I mean, wouldn't a licensed version devalue it? I mean, I guess if you want to,
Oh yeah.
No, it happens all the time. I mean, it happened with Cyborg, not Cyborg, Cable.
What was it? Cable.
The Cable
Yeah,
figure.
Cable.
Yeah, the minute that they announced the licensed version, who made that version? So Toys Era.
Toys. I think Toys Era made it.
That same week, it took a hit on eBay. So
yeah, and that's why I don't primarily buy any third-party figures, just because I don't know what Hot Toys. I don't know where their mind's at with certain figures. Like for instance, I think there's another company that made the homemade Tobey Maguire outfit from this. They made the Spiderman 1. Now, I don't know if I'm really confident enough that Hot Toys will make that version because they don't really have the license of those films. So I'll be pretty much safe to buy that. However, before these announcements, if they made a Goblin and knowing that Goblin was rumored to be in this film, which he is obviously, then I would skip on that Goblin. Right? So I think for certain third-party figures, they're okay to make because we know for a fact that Hot Toys will not make it. Like, for instance, the Green Menace, the So Toys classic Green Goblin.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell Hot Toys will make that because they're more so into the movie side. They're more so of what's relevant right now. You know, so I think for certain third-party figures, it's safe to buy because we know that Hot Toys will not, fund those certain figures. Like, we know for a fact they're not going to make any of the X-Men figures, like Cajun Car Dealer. What's the character called? What's his name? I'm blanking out. But that Cajun Car Dealer, that character from X-Men, Gambit. We know they're not going to make a Gambit. We know Sideshow might because Sideshow did. We know Sideshow has the license to that, but we don't know if Hot Toys will make X-Men figures. So, I said,
that's fine. Yeah. That's perfectly fine. I don't have any much love for X-Men in my collection. I don't have a problem with that if So Toys and Toys Era they want to work behind the scenes, where I have where I get a not so much triggered is where people are essentially trashing this version to defend this monster right here. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I should have that meme up. I'm taking crazy pills here. I just don't I don't get it. I don't get it because and I think that's why it's so important. Yes. Absolute, Aaron. The Toys Era is so bad it deserves its own camera. Absolutely. It's right behind me. It's right there. You want to see the work I've done? Look. It deserves its own.
Yeah. I mean, to me, Denobi, if I had to pick this or a third-party unlicensed product, I would pick Hot Toys because I know they're licensed. They're much more trustworthy when it comes down to their materials and also the quality. The quality matters with these figures because we're paying.
Yes.
I mean, this figure is going to be $375 or $400 at most. That's not even including shipping and tax. So for me, this one. I think it'll be around $370.
I got the Hong Kong pricing already. I know what it's going to be.
Is it $286? I believe, right, in Hong Kong for the deluxe.
That's with the conversion to Sideshow, it'll be between $280, $285, but $286 when you add the conversion. So it'll retail under $300, but it'll still break $300 with tax and shipping. Yeah.
Right. So because I just don't trust third party quality. I don't know what I'm getting into. Whereas I know Hot Toys, where I've had experience with them, and I know that they're much more of a trustworthy, reliable company. Whereas, you know, if I buy a So-So Toys figure, I mean, some So-So toy figures, they're great, but they do have some problems too. Some of them do have problems. I'm not saying that Hot Toys has problems too. It's just that I think with Hot Toys, we're getting our money's worth. That's all I'm saying. I think with Hot Toys.
Have you purchased a recent third party? What I've learned in the community is that
Right.
when a third party is defective or has issues, it seems to not be discussed. It seems to be omitted. Where the
Yeah.
collector tends to focus on the positive and not so much on the negative. And I've seen a
Right.
lot of that through
Yeah.
certain collectors, through certain influencers. The only couple influencers I probably have pointed out that I can think of right off my head. I don't even think PJ collects third parties. PJ, you on there? I know Nate calls out third party schlockiness.
Yeah.
Will Foxification calls out third party schlockiness on occasion. It's all about it's all about trust, right?
Right.
You're pre-ordering a $200 figure, and you have to look at the track record. What has a yes, on occasion we're going to get a Tony Stank head or something, but it's all about the track record, the character you're buying, and the dependability. So there's some homework that needs to be done into that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, the only third party thing I have is the head sculpt of the Ezra Miller from, I think it was it S Kings? Or I know you have it too, Denobi, the third party Ezra Miller head sculpt that you put on the Flash.
Yes. That was decent.
That's a decent one. For 30, I paid $35 shipped.
$30, which I think it was $30. I thought it was a fair, decent.
It's really good.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It was probably I'd give it a 7. I thought it was a decent representation of Ezra Miller, and not a lot of investment went into that type of risk. So I was fine with that. I'm
Me too.
Totally fine with that.
I think
things where you can take a risk at, but others you can't.
Right. I think the recent issue I've heard with a third party figure was the Cajun card. There was something wrong with the wrist peg. That's the only thing I've heard so far for a third party figure recently for the So-So Toys Cajun card dealer. There's something wrong with the wrist peg, problem with the outfit or something like that. So I think you're right. I think a lot of collectors look at the positive more than the negatives, because I think we're trying to give as much love for third parties as much as we can, because we know that third party figures, they tend to do things that Hot Toys wouldn't do, if that makes sense. You know, like, I mean, they're making figures from the X-Men line now. They're making figures from, you know, Suicide Squad. They just released the Bloodsport? Yeah, Bloodsport? Yeah, Bloodsport. And you know, and Hot Toys are not making it. It seems like, because Hot Toys, they have this weird thing with guns. It seems like, because I think, you know, there are. I mean, look, third party figures there, because I haven't had an experience with third parties, so I don't know my experience with them. But I know my friend Will Foxification had an issue with what was it, the Wizard, the Toys R Wizard from he had an issue with the wrist peg or something. So things like that, I'm a little iffy about buying third parties, because I don't know the quality. I don't know what I'm getting into. So I'd rather use my money towards Hot Toys, because I know what they are. They're reliable, and for the most part, their quality is much better.
And it holds its value a lot more sturdy.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
It's not an unstable product where that if the licensed version ever gets released, now you're stuck with a $200 schlocky fake product, essentially, because it's now evolved into fake. You know, to be in this game, I mean, to collect Hot Toys, it's
you want the ultimate, you gotta be willing to pay the ultimate price.
You gotta.
I mean, look, here's I'd rather, like, okay, let's say, for instance, if I had an option, I've had an option to buy $220 shipped of Doc Ock third parties, you know, Toys R, whereas there's a Hot Toys version that's $320 and, you know, $370 shipped to the door. I'd rather pay Hot Toys price, because I know, even though I'm paying a little more, but I know I'm pretty much safe as far as the quality and the value holds compared to a third party figure, right? So
Hmm.
for me, it's all day Hot Toys. I mean, for certain third-party figures, I might give an exception, like some of the comic accurate. Like if we get a comic book version of Doc Ock from So Toys, then I'll consider it. You know,
And
like
that's
things that are
different. That's
right.
different.
Exactly. There you
Yeah.
go. Because we know the Hot Toys will not make it.
That's-
They're not into that comic book line right now. I think the only recent one that the only recent comic book adaptation of character we have is that acrylic version of Iron Man and then the classic suit Spider-Man. That's the only two comic book versions that I know that we got from Hot Toys. So I doubt that Hot Toys will step their foot down and make some classic characters from the comics. So when it comes down to those figures, I'm pretty. I can make exceptions for the third party.
Look, I get it. The X-Men universe hasn't been very well loved, and they found a market into
Yeah.
it. That's perfectly fine. I mean,
Right.
but this is something that I've said that PJ said in his comment. I've said this so many times in the last year. There is so much good licensed products that are coming in from every angle for me. I don't have the time, the risk, the money on these companies. I don't get this. I don't understand that, where we knew almost a year before Spider-Man No Way Home, was coming out, that we were gonna get Spider-Man Hot Toys. It was a given.
Right.
Spider-Man has been a strong cash cow to the company, as much as
Yeah.
Iron Man has, and now in recent year, it's been Star Wars. It's been the Mandalorian line. So I've always said that. I go, look, man, I'm just trying to juggle the good stuff that's sitting there, 30 something, 40 plus figures in my pre-orders or upcoming pre-orders that have not been released.
Right.
And then I see everybody going crazy for Gambit. I'm like, cool. You want to knock yourself
Yeah.
out for what did it retail for? $277 something. It was ridiculous, wasn't it? It was something.
I think it's 220 on TNS figures shipped, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I think the reason why third-party figures are popular because that price is appealing for many collectors, because we don't get that price from Hot Toys because they're unlicensed. I mean, I think the Bloodsport from Sosa Toys is going for like $205 shipped on TNS figures. I mean, if
last I
Hot
remember,
Toys,
$200 was still a lot of money. Am I living in a different alternate reality?
No. But the thing is, like, if we compare to Hot Toys, I mean, I think the Costco Reeves is like $270, or I think with shipping and when you put shipping and tax together, you're looking at, depending on where you live, what state. I mean, I live in California, so if I were to, buy it from Sideshow, I'm looking at like $330 shipped using a Sideshow. So I mean, with third party, I think the reason why sometimes it's appealing is because of that price. Because right now, I mean, those prices that we wish to get from Hot Toys. I mean, I know back then where the Short Trooper was like $205 Denobi, and I remember like the clean Stormtrooper was like $189. So we don't get that nowadays, unfortunately. Like, I think the regular price for a normal figure, like for instance the which one was it? The the Costco Reeves. I think that's our normal price, $270 for a figure.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, the prices are climbing up. Inflation is going up, so I mean, things are getting here. But we're gonna climb up to like $300 as the retail price for certain figures now. So, the price is appealing for majority of collectors. That's why I think third-party figures are. That's why we see a lot of collectors buying third-party figures because of the price. So.
I just don't get it.
But,
I mean,
yeah.
to me, $270 and $220. I don't understand this lying to yourself collector mentality. That's on the path that leads you to the path of tapping out. That doesn't seem very wise. I guess is what I'm
right.
Especially if it's if you're willing, if you want an obscure character like Bloodsport, that's probably not going to be made by a licensed company, I guess. But I guess the long story short, you have to always assume that around the corner that maybe a licensed version may be generated. It could essentially materialize.
Right. Because I know you're a veteran, right? So you've been collecting for 14 to 15 years for Hot Toys, correct? If I'm wrong.
I was there, Gandalf. I I was there 3,000 years ago.
I'm so damn old. I've been collecting.
But no, I've been watching your channel for a very long time, Denobi, and I've been watching since you with Benjamin, when you guys did those stuff. So that was a lot of fun watching you guys. So I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from a lot of collectors that like Optical, who was also another veteran, and I've been only collecting for 2-3 years now, and I'm still learning between of how to collect and what to pre-order, what to not pre-order, or not to pre-order at all. Right, because of the amount of plethora of figures we're getting from Octopus. So yeah, I think price right now it's climbing, and I think it's nothing new from many collectors, because I think inflation's getting higher and higher every year. So yeah, I think collectors should not be as flabbergasted by these prices, because I think it's normal. It's not Hot Toys, but it's everything. Look at the details. The details were originally $60. Now they're $89 now, because of the demand. Because details are now jumping almost $100 now.
Jesus.
So yeah, things are climbing up. So it's not just Hot Toys, but it's everything from like furniture, iPhone, everything basically is climbing up in price. So yeah,
Hot Toys hasn't put up that classic look yet for pre-order. I'm not holding my breath. If they release it, great. If they do, I'm not losing any sleep. There's way too much good stuff out there right now. Just in Star Wars alone, there's just way too many. So all I hear in live streams is we need Cad Bane, we need the Wookiee character. I don't even know his name because I haven't even seen the
Chrysanthemum, the Black Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, and I see all that, and I see these because I listen to everything. I work, KG. I work from home.
Right. Yeah.
And I listen to everything, and I like taking notes. So when I hear streams from other channels just begging for more, I'm like, you guys aren't even getting the stuff that's sitting in the shelves. I don't understand that. I don't get that. I don't get things like that where I have my storm tracker. I'm gonna pull up my storm tracker here.
I'm glad you brought that up too, Denobi, because I think a lot of collectors looking to the future rather than the present. I think because we're thinking of what other Hot Toys we're gonna get in the future rather than what we have so far from either in stock or what we have. So I've definitely struggled with that. Like, I've always said in the streams, like, oh, I want this figure to come in. Like, I was one of those victims. Like, Cad Bane must be a thing. But at the same time, like, I'm looking at my collection. I'm like, wait, let me appreciate some of these other figures that I have, rather than think of the future. Because the reason why I bought Hot Toys is because of the nostalgia factor to them. Because these things are not cheap, Denobi. These are really expensive figures.
They're not cheap. And I always get very skeptical when I hear other collectors on other channels and streams and they're begging for all this stuff and they don't step up to the plate and bat. I don't understand that. I don't get that.
Right.
I have a Storm Tracker here that I have figures that have not been released in the US from Sideshow, and we're begging for more stuff from the Book of Boba Fett, and which I look forward to hearing everybody's thoughts on episode 7. That'll be fun. We're not talking about but I look at things like this and I'm just like, what are you guys begging for? I don't get it. Am I clearly missing something here? There is just so much. I mean, I look at the chart here, the Anakin Stab and the Artillery Stormtrooper and the Blurgs and Luke Skywalker from the Dark Troopers, the Assault Tank Commander, which was just released in Hong Kong, but not in the US yet. Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, and Grogu.
Right.
We're talking. We got some rain showers during the holidays. The majority of the storm is probably going to be March and April, where you'll start to hear a lot more diabolic excuses and folks who supported certain 2-packs of Boba Fett that said that they were going to get it. Let's see how many folks in the community will support this 2-pack of Boba Fett's that a lot of individuals, a lot of influencers, did Easy Collectibles, did he call, where's Easy? I'm still mad at Easy. He didn't build my space shuttle. PJ, did you pre-order that 2-pack? You didn't pre-order that 2-pack. You know that 2-pack of Boba Fett is going to get discounted, right? It's going to sit right next to Nebula, and
You think Denobi it's going to sit?
Rocket. Oh man, come on. Look at the way the show is heading. IPs, shows affect merchandise. It is a given. It is a symbiotic relationship. We've seen this time and time again. When a show hits the brick wall at 150 miles per hour, look at the survivors from Game of Thrones. Look at how everybody turned their back on Game of Thrones, the way that whole show ended. It was a travesty. There was just, I mean, nobody survived. It was horrible. I have a fantasy TV league behind me. I had to omit the characters from Game of Thrones outside of the enchanted forest that I built. I'm like, you guys are no longer welcomed in my enchanted forest. They were exiled into eBay. I have it, damn it. My thoughts and I think he answered me. I have it, Denobi. Well, you know what? I will post my thoughts and prayers to you on my Facebook account.
So Denobi, are you picking up the 2-pack or are you going to wait?
For which one? For the 2-pack?
The 2-pack. Yeah, the 2-pack.
I've made a promise to the community, and I've made a promise to myself that the minute the 2-pack Boba Fett gets discounted by $100 or 20% through a Hong Kong reseller, I will buy it, and then I will take a day off. I will drive over to Death Valley, look for a sand dune out there. Are you near Death Valley? I'll drive out there.
Yeah.
I'll go out there and I'll recreate the Sarlacc pit. I'll take the Boba Fett and I'll submerge him under the sand. And as he's crawling out of the sand, saying he is Boba Fett, I'll say, no, you need to go back into the Sarlacc pit. And that's,
no, it's interesting because the show it's two different Boba Fetts, Denobi. The Boba Fett that we saw in Mandalorian is a whole different Boba Fett. It's the Boba Fett that we know, but in this season or in this series, he's a totally different character, Denobi. I mean, he's nothing neat compared to the Mandalorian version. But I do think, Denobi, that to me personally, to my opinion, I think that the 2-pack Boba Fett will sell because that version of Boba Fett is the go ahead.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the 2-pack of Boba Fett sell. Every product will sell. Everything that Hot Toys makes will eventually sell out. So it's walking a thin line when a collector says on a stream, it's going to sell out, it will become a grail. For the most part, historically, most of the Hot Toy Star Wars figures, when they sell out, they will eventually turn into a chase figure, and in most cases will turn into a grail piece. Meaning, will it happen right away? Will it happen instantaneously? With Star Wars, it's never been the case. History has shown that when most Star Wars figures will sit for 6 months to a year, and even after it sells out, it still takes a while to climb in value. That is what history has shown us. The difference with using historical numbers back in the past and now is that back then we didn't have 40 to 60 plus figures coming in at us like a meteor shower. We would get a Dooku 3 months, then we'd get Attack of the Clones, and then Attack of the Clones Yoda sold out. Let's do a second batch. Oh, it's out of control. Another, you see what I mean? It's different. It was a different time.
I could see it's a different game for sure, Denobi. There are some figures that I'm seeing right now at Sideshow that are, like, for instance, the Death Watch. I'm sure that Death Watch was underly produced, but it's still sitting at Sideshow, and the armor is still sitting at Sideshow, even though that she reappeared in the Boba Fett show, and she's still sitting there. She has not sold yet.
Of course,
and it's making me thinking that I think, when we come to Star Wars, because I think we're thinking about, like you said, Denobi, like back then, when Hot Toys first just got their license for Star Wars, where Star Wars wasn't a huge thing until Mandalorian came out, right? Came out of nowhere. Then they made, I think that now it's like, I think the what was it? The Beskar Mando is still sitting at Sideshow's website, and it's like free shipping, 20% off. And when it was first like released, like you can get it from Hong Kong. Denobi, that thing was going for like $700 for day one batch.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's you can get it for like under 200 from some marketplaces here on Facebook. So it's crazy to think that. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I love Doc Ock. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm no idiot. I'm not going to spend twice the amount to get him 30 or 40 days early so that I can play with the mechanical arms. He'll arrive into the collection. I'll welcome him into my Spider-Verse behind me.
Yeah.
When you're curating a large collection, patience is key, because if you rush into, you'll end up tripping over your tied shoelaces, not realizing that Sideshow has sent you 3 Sideshow notifications, and then you're in trouble, right?
Yeah.
I've done the role of I was there in the year 1 where now I have a little bit more of a disposable income, but back then I did not. I know the games that I had to play to juggle. The Ironmonger was the first pre-order for Hot Toys. That was in 2012.
2012, yeah.
That was $500 in 2012. So I try not to so much get hooked up on price points, because I bought Ironmonger in 2012, where the labor market was different, economy was different, for $500. So things are a little bit different. I'm actually beginning to think that Hot Toys is actually throttling their price based on some of the pieces that I bought. But Joker, the bank robber Joker, that was 2014. That was 2013 bank robber 2013-14. That was a $250 pre-order in 2013. Bank robber Joker.
Wow.
That was $250, folks. $250. Do I need to put my meme? 3,000 years ago, I remember this. It was $250.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. So again, $200 is still a lot. It's a lot of money when you're trying to get everything. It's rough. I get it. There's a lot. The only thing I'm asking Santa Howard Chan is just get back on schedule. I'm not begging him for anything. I can't go on a live stream for 2 hours and wish for Electro or more characters. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I still have pre-orders from 2019 that I have not received yet. I haven't received my Pennywise. It's supposed to arrive tomorrow from Sideshow. That was a day 1 pre-order. My Iron Man Mark 85 battle damage, that was a day 1 pre-order from 2019. So I haven't gotten that. I have not gotten that yet. So
I mean, it's crazy too, Denobi, that the Iron Patriot on Toys Wonderland's like under $300 right now. That Iron Patriot's like $250. I mean, it's like, and now the battle damage 85, it's $256 and Toys Wonderland. So I think the interest has gone down for Marvel figures, and also even including Star Wars figures too. I mean, you can find some of these Star Wars figures for under retail sometimes.
Yes.
Other times, I mean, so, I mean, Heavy Mando was a different situation, Denobi. I mean, that thing sold out before it hit stock. That thing was gone, and I was able to get mine. But that
KG, I didn't hear you. Which one sold?
Heavy Mando. Heavy Mando.
Yes.
The Heavy Infantry Mando. And now people are wondering that are they going to reissue it because of the his reappearance in the Mandalorian episode, the Boba Fett episode, right? So, do you think if they were to reissue that, do you think it will devalue the first version of the Hot Toys, or do you think it will still maintain the value of the first version?
It'll definitely affect the value of it.
You think so?
It absolutely will. But the problem that I still see, even if they reissue the Heavy Mandalorian, is that then it throttles existing pre-orders, right? And then second, it not only saturates the market with the existing Heavy Mandalorian, but then it creates that sense of of trust and comfort from the collector, where now they don't have an urgency to purchase the figure. So now what happens is it then evolves into a Iron Man Mark 47 from Spider-Man, where now it'll never sell out forever. It'll be there for probably a couple of years. It will sell out eventually, but it'll sit there for a very long time. So that's what'll happen. If I had to speculate, I would think that Hot Toys would not revisit the Heavy Mandalorian and focus on the future and any other existing characters that they can cash cow on, right?
Right, because they're really behind right now, as far as release goes, because they still have a lot of stuff to release. I mean, I think this year they should really focus on making more releases rather than more announcements. Because last year, my God, I think there was less announcements. I mean, less releases, more announcements last year. I think it should be the other way around, because there are still a lot of people waiting for certain figures like that. Ahsoka was supposed to be coming around around October-ish, I believe, and then now it's been delayed for 4 to 5 months now.
Ahsoka?
I mean, Ahsoka, the Clone Wars version,
the cartoon version. Okay.
Yeah. So
when is she slated to drop then?
I think she's. I heard this month, but people are speculating this month.
I was listening to channels in October that swore that she was going to drop by Halloween or early Thanksgiving. So
right,
I won't mention any names.
But there's a lot of exactly. I mean, there's a lot of figures that they still have to do. I mean, as far as releases, I mean, we still have the Spider-Verse. Miles Morales, we have the Ahsoka. What else do we have? The Cable, Anakin Skywalker, and Stab. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of things they have to release, man. I mean, I think, like I said before, they should really focus on their releases more than their announcements right now.
Yes,
because they're really behind.
That's exactly what I've been saying. All I've been saying is, where everybody is trying to beg Howard Chan for something. F that. If you want to beg Howard Chan for something, tell him to get behind the production lines and sit down with his I was going to say a word, but I don't want the video to get flagged. His labor. I was going to add the SLAVE, but I don't want that. And he needs to sit with his labor and paint some of those head sculpts and some of those old ass pre-orders that need to drop, so that we can get this conveyor belt moving here, because it's a mess. Yeah. It's a huge mess. But
I think the pandemic has really affected Hot Toys as far as their scheduling goes. Because right now, I mean, as far as announcements, I mean, look, we're getting amazing announcements, but as far as releases, because we're buying these figures to get them, not to see their announcements, right? And put, NRDs in it, because we mainly buy Hot Toys because we're getting them, not just to see the announcements right now. So, I mean, you don't know to know, but I mean, I'm seeing countless of people just saying, "Where's Ahsoka? Where's Ahsoka? Where's Cable or the Anakin and Stab?"
I don't know why everybody's begging for Ahsoka. The minute she drops, she's going to sit for a year, and I'll hear the excuses where the paint application doesn't add up, or something, or the classic tap out excuse. Well, I'm going to wait for the Rosario Dawson one because it looks prettier, or some excuse like that. So one of those. So you have a animated version of Ahsoka Tano, and then you have a live action version. You have two versions of a character that are going to be released in under a 6-month period. History will predict one of those versions. It's going to sit on the shelves as a peg warmer for a very, very long time. If I had to put a bet, I'm in Vegas. I'm in Vegas. I would put $500 that the cartoon version is the one that's going to sit on the Sideshow website for a very long time. In fact, the boys in the warehouse at Sideshow Collectibles are probably going to have to take all the 1,000 stock units and put them right next to the Beskar armor with the other 1,000 pieces, because there's again, that's the whole Beskar thing. Another, I mean, there's a shinier version now. So, if you're on a limited budget and you have 40 to 50 plus Star Wars figures coming in your way, and you had to pick one, let's say you're on a strict budget. Most collectors are. I'd like to believe most collectors are.
I am definitely.
You can only afford one Ahsoka Tano. KG, which do you think, if you can KG, you could only get one. KG, I'm gonna enact a spell on you. You're only allowed to get one Ahsoka Tano. I forbid you to own two. You're only allowed to have one. Which one would you get?
Here's the thing. Okay, so as far as my collection goes, the continuity of the realistic sculpt, it's the continuity of the human sculpt, right? And we're dealing with an animation character from the Clone Wars. Now, for me, if I had to choose one, I have to pick the Rosario Dawson version one. I'm sorry, but I just love that version more than the Clone Wars version. I mean, look, I grew up with the Clone Wars. I grew up with Ahsoka Tano. I grew up with all those characters in the Clone Wars. But there's something about the Rosario Dawson just hits me more than the Clone Wars version. That's just me, Denobi. But I don't know about you. If you're picking up the Rosario Dawson one,
taking the way the community swings back and forth, like they're wearing a pair of like they're wearing boxers and briefs. I would simulate that they would all move towards the Rosario Dawson version. That would be the most.
I would think so.
Yeah, that would be the one that in this oversaturated market, you need something that's going to at least somewhat hold value for a certain time, because there are collectors in the community that if something new shows up, they need a figure that they can extract value in, maybe in most occasions, and then some.
Right.
So you need something in your collection, like, oh my God, this Grail piece just dropped. I got to unload something in my collection that's going to generate that capital so that I can get that. Will the cartoony version do it, or will the Rosario Dawson do it?
I would say the Rosario Dawson one, because somebody brought it up in the comment. I think it was, who was it? Oh, single songwriter Mandalorian Ahsoka, because it's from the Mandalorian and it's within the OT timeline. The great thing about that too, Denobi, I think the figure is such a versatile figure, because you can think of Rebels, for instance, Denobi, where you can have Darth Vader go against Ahsoka Tano. That version of Ahsoka Tano, and you can create that scene. If you replace the Rosario Dawson version for the Clone Wars version, it just wouldn't fit. If you have the Darth Vader with the Rosario Dawson version, it's much more realistic display rather than having the Clone Wars version, because we're looking at a much more of a realistic sculpt than a animation sculpt. That's just my opinion, because if I were to display my Ahsoka, it would be the Rosario Dawson version with a Vader. Because if I displayed the Clone Wars version with Vader, it just, to me personally, it wouldn't fit, right? So as a display option, I think I agree with Single Songwriter. If you're in the OT, if you have all the OT figures, I think you would rather much go for you would rather push for the Rosario Dawson versions for sure. Yeah.
You have to think into the future. You have to think fourth dimensional. You have to anticipate what something not tomorrow is going to bring, but let's say a year down the road.
Right.
And I'll give you a perfect example. I was listening to Will Foxification's live stream yesterday, where he was drooling over the Prime 1 Batman statue. Were you on that stream, KG?
Which stream was I don't think I was on any stream.
I was working. I was doing something around the room, and he was talking about the Prime 1 statue, the Batman.
The Batman.
And,
I think I was. Yeah.
And I'm very extremely conservative with statues, and it comes to, but the Batman is one of those IPs where we know very little of, where it's an IP,
very true.
It's an IP that they may release. Hot Toys may announce a pre-order before the film arrives, and they may do a limited movie promo edition. Most in the community aren't even aware that on occasion, Hot Toys does a movie promo edition. What is a movie promo edition? It's usually a modified version of a regular version that includes additional accessories, but in a smaller batch run. If they release a movie version a movie promo of the Batman before the film comes out, you have to make that split decision of should I pre-order this now, or should I wait? And sometimes you have to take a leap of faith, because there's not any real data to go on. This is going to stick around. With Star Wars, it's been very different. With Star Wars, they've just been announcing, and I go on the site, the website, and everything is starting to stagnate, and everybody in the community is trying to convince themselves that these pieces are all going to turn into grails. That's
I think that, to me personally, when I hear people saying, "Oh, this thing will sell," I mean, I think certain figures will sell, but I don't think everything will be a grail.
Yeah.
I think it's just wishful thinking. It should be wishful thinking.
I've seen. Well, I'll give 10 points to Anthony Mafia, because he has evolved. He has been singing a different tune when I started listening to Anthony in October to now. He's starting to wise up. I listened to one of his streams. Love that dude. That even he's not confident about episode 7 coming in.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he said it on one of his streams. Yeah, he wasn't too, or he said it somewhere. I heard him. He said it where he wasn't too sure about episode 7's success, and then any forthcoming figures other than Cad Bane. But it's not the Cad Bane show. It's the Boba Fett show.
Right. It's Boba Fett show. Yeah.
Is he supposed to? I haven't seen the episode. Is he supposed to show up in this, or is it just a cameo, one walk off? Or
it was well, as far as he's going to be in the next episode for sure. He's working. Do you care about spoilers or not, Genobi? Or you just?
I'm not watching the show. No, I saw the pilot and I moved on. Yeah.
So basically, he's working with a group called the Spice, and the Spice is taking over Tatooine, and he's working with them. So we'll see him for sure. We'll see him in the next episode where he's working with the Spice, and he's probably going against with Boba Fett and Mando in the next episode. So, I mean, he's definitely not a cameo. He's definitely going to come back for sure. And who knows, man? We know that Hot Toys, they want to capitalize on it, so we're gonna get a Cad Bane from Hot Toys. That's just mine. I don't know about you, Denobi, but I think we're gonna get a Cad Bane.
He seems like an interesting character. I didn't know much about him until I did research until he broke the internet, and I had to do some research on it. But I'm all about Star Wars aliens anyway. I didn't even know he was a bounty hunter.
Right.
He was introduced in the Clone Wars. I never watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars.
And I think he made an appearance in the Bad Batch, and so I don't watch any of those shows. So it's not to say that I wouldn't support a character like Cad Bane. I thought, but a character like him that would have been somewhat legendary. You think he would have been introduced maybe in a better fashion, not like tail end of 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett show.
I mean, he's definitely he gives me Clint Eastwood vibes for sure. He's definitely inspiration from Clint Eastwood, the way he walks, the way he talks. But Cad Bane is definitely a favored bounty hunter for most Star Wars fans out there. So, I mean, if you could, Denobi, try to give it a watch, the Clone Wars, because he's amazing in Clone Wars. There are certain episodes where he's really good.
No, I keep hearing different stories in the Clone Wars. It'll get better by season 4. I value my time. I really do.
Sure.
I really do. And I said it on Nate's Geeking Out. I'm allergic to just bad writing and lazy.
No, that makes sense.
And I saw all the telltale signs from the pilot episode, and nobody wanted to see it, but yet when we got to episode 3 and everybody was like, what's going on with the Mos Espas? And I'm just like, yeah, didn't you guys see the telltale signs where the shows was going? And now I'm being confronted that, well, Denobi, the show's better. Well, yeah, it sounds like the show's better when you omit the director and the main character of the show. So is that even playing fair? Is that even on a fair? You see what I mean? You see, I actually find the whole practice very deceptive, where you do like a 180, you're essentially jumping tracks from a train, and you're giving the audience a different show, and I'm like, that's not good storytelling, for something that was supposed to be planned. So I'm committed to The Mandalorian. I will watch the show, and I'm pretty positive any important updates that are needed for me to continue Mando and Baby Grogu and his adventures. I probably will get some season recaps, even though it wasn't his show. Does that kind of make sense? So but I do enjoy the human I do enjoy watching from the sidelines and watching everybody's opinions change on a week-to-week basis. I find that very fascinating.
Oh yeah. No, yeah. I understand, man. I mean, I mean, everybody has low minute of time, man. Nobody has time to watch a series, and I understand that, or just nobody really cares to watch a series. But
I just like good TV. I wasn't even expecting good. My expectations were actually very, very low for the show, and it didn't even meet that. All I wanted was Boba Fett to run Jabba's palace. I said that from the very beginning. Well, Denobi, what were you expecting? I was not expecting a flashback of him crawling out of the Sarlacc pit, wasting my time being dragged through the sands of Tatooine, and the whole that's filler. I called it from the first. I go, you're going to see more flashbacks. They're going to waste your time with more flashbacks. And did you get more flashbacks? Yes, you got a lot more flashbacks.
Yeah,
it had a lot of the telltale lazy cues of spreading, when you add more water to Kool-Aid, your water out. And I caught all that. I'm like, oh no. Plus, I'm a huge sucker for hooks. Like, if you hook me with a cheap gimmick, I'm game. WandaVision did a phenomenal job on that. Like, oh, okay, I'd like to know what happens. I have no clue what's going on. It gave me, mysterious hook. I'm sold. And every episode, it changed and it evolved. I had no idea. All the stuff that I had kind of taught myself, reading scripts and stuff like that, I had no idea where the show was going. Boba Fett, oh my God. I mean, it was like, how does anybody not see where the show's not going? Versus Mandalorian, I had no preset expectations. I had no idea where the Mandalorian was going. He was a mysterious character. You could grow on his character. You could evolve. And you brought in Grogu and all that stuff. And it was even some of the episodes that folks thought it was boring. I enjoyed it. Boba Fett falls into the Sarlacc pit as 150-pound Jeremy Bullock. And he comes out like Ned from Spiderman wearing armor, a little over 200. I mean, it was just, that alone. I mean, the whole continuity error. And then I'm not favorable to retcons. Oh, well, Max Rebo survived. What do you mean Max Rebo survived? Max Rebo died on the barge. Oh, Bib Fortuna survived. No, Bib Fortuna was right next to Jabba when the barge blew up. Oh, he got an escape pod or what? We saw Luke destroy 2 of the skiffs. There were 3 skiffs. 2 of the skiffs were destroyed. The last one's the one he rode off. So did Bib Fortuna ride out a speeder bike through the back end of the shell barge? I don't. So and it's like that. It's stupid continuity errors where us old fogies like me, like, you should have started off with something completely new and so forth that I had no expectations going into it.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think it was your show that mentioned that. I think the reason why The Mandalorian was so successful was because of the way The Mandalorian was wrote, like the way it was written. I mean, it was a bounty hunter. It felt like an actual bounty hunter. And I think I think The Mandalorian was a blueprint of Boba Fett. It was because they felt like they didn't want to copy that version. Like, oh, if they did the bounty hunter thing, it's the same thing all over again, where he's the bounty hunter and something happens. So maybe it's the reason why they want to try something new, which I'm all for it. I mean, I'm glad that they're trying something new, but as far as when they're trying something new, it has to be very captivating. I want to be captivated throughout the show. I mean, Denobi, this show it's been up and down. I mean, it's the first episode was okay, wasn't the best. Second episode was really good. Third episode was a trash. It was a dumpster fire episode. Episode 4 was interesting, and episode 5 was episode 5 and episode 6 are the best episodes so far. And the Boba Fett show. I mean, it's not even Boba Fett. It's the Book of Mandalorian, basically. I mean, it's
and that's and it's really sad. It's really sad. I was talking to my buddy earlier today that the Star Wars community can be so toxic, especially towards the talent, towards the actors and the actresses. I don't play that. I did that a decade ago, picking on and trashing the Phantom Menace. I don't do that anymore. Especially when you learn that Ahmed Best, the actor that played Jar Jar Binks, wanted to commit suicide. Where you
Oh,
learn
really?
that,
Really? We wanted to commit suicide.
yeah,
Did not know
yeah,
that. Wow.
and Jake Lloyd, he was picked on throughout his school years, and how people, Jake Lloyd, Anakin,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, and he went into crime and drugs and stuff like that, and
yeah.
he was bullied. He was what's her name? The actress who played Rose in The Last Jedi. She had to jump off social media because she was being threatened, harassed, and
Yeah,
bullied.
yeah.
So I'm very sympathetic to Tamora Morrison now as I'm reading articles, because he's emotionally hurt. And as much as I
Mm,
joke, as much as I've been picking on this show, I'm very sympathetic to Tamora Morrison, because this is a character that he enjoys playing, or enjoyed playing. He may not ever do the role again. And he knew how important it was to the fans, and he wanted to deliver that to the fans, where in some cases it's not so much about the money, it's about living the role. And he feels, some of the comments and stuff, like he feels he's let the fans down.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm very sympathetic to him as an actor, because if this episode 7 doesn't deliver, it can hurt him emotionally, and it's like
yeah,
that. And don't kid yourself, all of the talent and all these actors, they all live in social media, they all troll. Chris Hemsworth says he Googles himself all the time, Thor, and he sees it, and he likes to see people doing
yeah.
skits and stuff like that. A lot of them do it. The other Aquaman is on social media. He
Mm,
likes what people think about him. I can't think of his name, but you know who I'm talking about, Aquaman.
Jason
The
Momoa. Jason
Yeah,
Momoa. Yeah.
Jason Momoa. But yeah, like the last, I'm like, oh, I feel like this was his show, and the only thing that the kids are talking about in YouTube land is Cad Bane. I go, I
It's
feel sorry.
unfortunate.
I
Yeah,
kind of feel sorry for him. I really
yeah.
do. Like, this
Tamora
is not
Morrison
a
has
TV show. Yeah.
right. Tamora Morrison has said out that he talks too much in this show rather than being a part. Just because the character of Boba Fett, if you know Denobi, that even in Empire Strikes Back, throughout the original trilogy, he was a quiet person. He was a background character. He didn't talk much. But in this episode, in this series, he's just talking a lot. And he's like, I want to do more action, be mysterious rather than talking too much. I talk too much in this series, and it seems like he has lost the love of the character. It seems like, and I think you're right. I think Denobi. I think if this episode isn't what people expect, as far as if we get more Boba Fett action, then I think I don't think Tamora Morrison will come back. I think it's
No,
pretty slim.
no, I would
It
be
seems
very
like
shocked. I mean,
yeah,
you have to think about it. You have to think about it. The last couple weeks, the Star Wars community essentially has been making fun of him, in the same sense like kids picking on each other in high school, where you've been essentially making memes, and you've been
yeah,
promoting him as a joke, as a farce, as a novelty. He was looking forward to playing this legendary character. The actors and actresses, they make a living visiting conventions and signing autographs. How confident is he going to be as an actor when he signs up for the next Star Wars celebration? And you don't think he's not gonna encounter idiots that are gonna ask him why the show was a train wreck? That's embarrassing. As
yeah,
an actor, that's extremely embarrassing. Nobody ever wants to be remembered for a horrible role. We loved him as Jango Fett. Um, that's as the clone, Attack of the Clones. That's how we remembered him. He had a start. He had a story arc as Jango Fett. It was, it had a, point A, point A, and he died at the end, and that was it. And he continued to work as a character, as voiceover, for the show and things
yeah,
like that. So he enjoyed reprising the role of Boba Fett, Jango Fett, or just the clones, because he is a clone. So now history will remember him as a joke if episode 7 doesn't deliver that Citizen Kane experience that all the fans in the community have been hyping up for, right? Because what have the fans been telling me? Well, Denobi, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And then we're going to see Han. And then we're going to see Leia. And then we're going to see C-3PO. And I go, you guys are setting yourselves up for a Mephisto disappointment. You guys need to stop that shit. You guys need to stop.
Look, here's the thing. I'm all for rumors and speculations. I'm all for it. But I think with Han Solo, I think that's just wishful thinking. I'm being honest with you guys. I think even Harrison Ford has said to come that he doesn't want to do Star Wars anymore. The reason why he did come back from that Rise Skywalker because they paid him a lot of money to come back to do just that one scene. And I think Harrison Ford and
well, he said it.
Carrie Fisher. Yeah, exactly.
So he said it on the show. He goes, "I only came back for the money." He's an asshole. We've always known Harrison Ford is a lovable asshole. I'll give you a perfect example how much of a prick he is. I saw him in person in 2011. He was contractually obligated to show up to the panel in Hall H. I was there, right? And it was for, what the fuck was the movie? Cowboys and Aliens. Jon Favreau had to drag him onto the stage. He sat down in front of the mic. He said a couple of his quirks, and he left. He left Olivia Wilde and the rest of the class, and Craig, the James Bond guy. He was the cowboy in the film.
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, Daniel Craig was the cowboy. Olivia Wilde, she was there. Dude, that was an hour panel. I was there. Harrison Ford showed up for 3 minutes. He said I forgot what he said, and he left. And he only came on stage because it almost looked, the video's online. Jon Favreau, directed Cowboys, dragged him onto the stage. It was clearly like he's like that. He is. So when whoever started the movie, the rumors, and I don't know, but here's the kicker though too. If Harrison Ford shows up, which I hope he doesn't, you're just stealing more of the limelight from the main star of the show, which is it's even sad. It's even sadder.
It's evidently there. It's the name Book of Boba Fett, and it's like I feel so bad. I mean, I love the character of Boba Fett. I grew loving the character of that bounty hunter, and it sucks that he's not getting much love. As far as the character goes, I mean, he showed up in episode 6, the latest episode. He was just there towards the end of the episode. He just nodded at Mando that he was there. He had no lines, Nobi. He was just there for like a second. And then we see the next shot with Mando going to Cobb Vanth.
Let's finish up. Let's finish up with Doc Ock. This was I don't know. It's Star Wars is always going to be hot topic. I wanted to really commit.
Yeah, we can talk for hours of Star Wars and the problems.
So the internet is getting sassy, and so the comment posted on Facebook that was shared with me. I think it was one of my buddies. Head sculpt is not a final one, so everybody calm the F down. It's pretty much.
I was gonna say that because I was like, oh, JC Holland just posted that. So
again, I'm still committed to a licensed version of Otto Octavius. I still think it's gonna be phenomenal. I don't think this may be the only version. I saw comments. Well, maybe we'll get a Spider-Man 2 version. Don't count your chicks before they hatch. This is what we have. This is what they're gonna commit. Could you modify? Bash this into Spider-Man 2?
Yeah,
you could. You absolutely could. You would have to probably. This is a situation where I don't disagree with a third-party head sculpt, because if a third-party head sculpt makes a decent, affordable Spider-Man 2 head sculpt of Alfred Molina, which encourages me to buy another Dr. Otto Octavius body where I can swap out the head, I'd be for it. I could essentially have 2 versions of Doc Ock. I can do some slight, I don't know, is that the right color? I didn't even verify the color of the trench coat. Is that the same color? It's more of
Yeah,
an
it is.
olive green. Okay.
It's the same one. The only difference between this from the 2004 version is that turtleneck. That's it. The turtleneck is
The
there. And
turtleneck. You're right.
that's the only difference.
Okay. Is this what
yeah.
maybe that was why they were asking me if the shirt could be removed? Look, if
I'm sure.
the shirt could be removed or not, I'll find a way. If the opportunity is presented to me that I can modify a second version of this Doc Ock figure into a Spider-Man 2, I will most likely look into that opportunity 100%.
Yeah. Oh,
I would
yeah, for
absolutely
sure.
do it. I would
'Cause I know-
recommend. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, because I know you're a huge Doc Ock fan, and when I was watching your Toys Era Doc Ock video, and you were there when they made the actual what was it called, the tendrils at some studio when you were young back in 2004.
Yes.
So I know you're a huge
that.
Doc Ock fan. So
Yes,
I mean, I
they
grew
use
up
majority of practical effects. Yes, for the
right.
mechanical arms, yeah.
I grew up with these films. No, I grew up with the 2004. Spider-Man 2 is my all-time favorite film of all time. So I mean, Doc Ock is a memorable villain for me, and just the way his character was written is just it's such a memorable character, and you know, and seeing him and No Way Home, I teared up. I teared up seeing him and his interactions with Maguire towards the end teared me up, man. It was it's 20 years of history for sure. I mean, 20 years in this film, 20 years of Spider-Man, and just 2 hours and 30-minute film. And this is a must-have for collectors who grew up with the OG Spider-Man. So yeah, this is a must-have.
It's to me, the price is fair. It's not the best. I'm not going to say, but what is fair in this current market? I don't. Average 1/6 scale high-end licensed figure, on average, is what, between 250 to 250. Yeah,
250 is the limit. Yeah, for an average figure now.
Yeah, that's the average. So when you have 10 plus figures piling up, and that's why I don't. And just kind of to close the chapter on third party figures, they serve their purpose. They really do. But I guess you always have to go in understanding that the possibility of a licensed version may always materialize.
Right.
And it would be extremely foolish to, in my opinion, it would be extremely foolish to defend this version, which I'm looking at those tentacles and they're screen accurate, spot on compared to the amount of work I had to do to that one right there.
Right. Yeah. You definitely repainted
the bottom one doesn't even look. I mean, I had to use a marker tip to coat the center. I had to spray paint the yellow. I mean, that's the trademark industrial yellow coating. I never dinged the Toys R Us one for the light. That to me, I never. But what bugged me about it was the articulation to the pinchers. I felt it needed to have a little bit more articulation to the pinchers. It looked like they had started the R&D and then they ran out of funds, and they could have invested just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I also didn't like that they used a skinny, muscular body. At that time,
yeah, that was weird.
Molina was
he was big. He was
big.
heavy.
He was very heavy, and everybody who said the head sculpt was it's not. I mean, maybe I should zoom in on it just to end it.
Yeah, and the neck seems a bit too long too, Denobi. The neck is definitely noticeable if you take off the.
Yeah, I mean again. It didn't come with a hat. It didn't come with it. Did it? It didn't come with glasses, but it came with goggles.
Money bags. Oh, goggles. Yeah,
goggles. It came with the goggles, but it did not come with his trade. And that was something else too. I'm like, why would you give me the goggles? Because the goggles were only used when he was building the ultimate power in the palm of my hands.
Right.
Like it would have at least looked somewhat closer to screen accurate with the glasses. But again, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. I don't even have it in my Spider-Verse display case. I actually have it kind of set away because it never met my expectations. I don't keep it in with the other Spider-Man figures I have.
Yeah,
I'm excited
it's
for
gonna.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for many people now because if you think about it, it's going to be devaluing for many. Because for me personally, no, but I don't sell figures. Now, when I talk about value, I talk about if my figures feel like there's value into it. I don't need to sell it, but as long as there's value into it, I can enjoy it. But when something gets reissued or another version comes out, it sort of devalues it. Like, I don't love this figure anymore. I might as well just get the new version and sell the other one, right? So, for me, if I had that version, I would just be pissed off that Hot Toys were doing it because I knew they were going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just, that timing probably could have sucked for me getting it. And I've always said to people, just wait till Hot Toys do this because when they released that Doc Ock and when Doc Ock was finally announced that he was going to be in the next film, like, that Hot Toys are going to do a Doc Ock. I was like, I was patiently waiting till 2 years till I see this film. I'm so glad because the patience finally paid off for me.
Yeah.
Because I was this close into getting this Doc Ock for this one or this third party, but I really wanted to hold my shoes and wait to get this one. This is to me, this is the definitive Doc Ock to have.
This is going to be this is right now at this point in time. This is to me the true definitive version, and the potential for to be able to adapt. Like I said, like I had mentioned earlier, you probably didn't catch this part, but the deluxe version, the fact that it's giving you an extra set of arms, what you can do with those additional arms, you can kit bash them into a diorama. You can build a window facade where Spider-Man is walking up the side of a building and the arms are coming out. That's what goes through my mind. Okay, where like there's so much value with the deluxe version where I would have the Stark Tech. And think about it. We have the classic Spidey that's just been released. And he has a part of the building. How about using some of those arms protruding out of? There's just so much possibilities. There's so much value into this figure, and for anybody not to get the deluxe version and to have the opportunity of using those additional set of arms in some sort of kit bash project is just, it would not make any sense. It honestly would not make any sense. This will not be a day one pre-order for me. I will most likely pull the trigger when it drops in Hong Kong. April to June of next year is tentative. I don't know if that'll change. This is a little over a year out. So that tells me there's not, I guess the R&D is really in just the arms, right? I mean, in just a little over a year. Again, this date can change. Anybody listening
could get delayed.
U.S. price, I got $286 for deluxe. $261 is the regular version. Sideshow may round it off by a few bucks. And we're looking at between April and June. Be careful, folks. Be extremely careful. That is a dangerous time frame for next year. There is a ton of stuff that is dropping around that time frame. A lot. I'm talking Star Wars, I'm talking Marvel, and I'm talking DC. Anybody
Batman
out there that is following the What If series, a lot of the What If will be dropping around the same time frame. The What If, there's a piece that's coming out around that time too.
Steve Rogers. What in heavens? Steve!
Hey, Peggy. Now you owe me one.
Dude, nice. I can't wait to get that. I can't wait to get that.
That's going to be an insane piece to
I cannot wait to get that. And that's coming around that same time frame. So that's going to be extremely expensive. And it's not just Marvel. It's also Star Wars too. There's
keep in mind, Denobi, we have the Batman. Batman's coming in.
Yes.
So, and it seems to me that I think the Batman or any Batman figures in general, they tend to sell well too, Denobi. I know that they don't make enough of them, but I think they've teased the vehicle too, Denobi. They teased the motorcycle. Who knows? We might even get the Batmobile if the film does super well, because
I hope it does.
It seems, so far from what we have seen, Denobi, it looks amazing. I can't wait to watch it. So we have that. I mean, DC. It's going to be a DC year. this year for sure. DC is going to have
I think so too.
so it's
I
going to
think
dominate
so.
for this year.
Yeah, don't
So.
folks listening. I think do not underestimate the Batman. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be extremely worthwhile. Let me pull this up here really quick. What else is coming around that same time frame? Here we go. Look at that. This is why you have to be careful. This is why the fonts go first. So the last couple weeks, the last week, all I've been hearing from the streamers is everybody loving these chicks. This chick, Koska Reeves and Fennec Shan. They're being dropped in a, I'm going to use controversial time frame because they have to compete with some really good, phenomenal stuff. And look, if you love Star Wars and you're only committed, if you're only loyal, if the ring on your hand is by Star Wars, great. Some of us have 3 rings. We have Star Wars, DC, and Marvel. Are these day one pre-orders? I don't think so. I think they're going to sit around for a while. I really, really do. Even Fennec Shan, dependent on how episode 7 hits the wall at 150 miles per hour, Fennec Shan could be the new Nebula.
Could be.
It could be. It could very well be. Or I could be wrong. I'm thinking she's going to sit for a while, but
I think so too. I think Fennec Shand is one of those characters where I think people should keep an eye on. I know she's going to sit for a while, but I think people should keep an eye on her because so far in the Boba Fett show, she has not done a lot. Denobi, she has not even pulled her gun out that much. Not a lot of combat going on. So if I don't, for me personally, I'm not pre-ordering Koska and Ask. I'm waiting for, like you say, like Hong Kong pre-order or something like that. Once it's outside, once it's finalized, then I'll make my verdict, make my final verdict.
That's how you do it.
So for me, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait to see how these things do because I don't want to spend my NRD, and if I don't like it, if something happens to them, then I lose my NRD, I lose my 10%. So I'd rather much wait to see what happens.
I would wait
with these figures.
I would wait. I'm telling you, wait. You have to look at it. They're asking $300 for Fennec Shan.
Yeah,
how much do you love Fennec Shan? And I'm probably gonna get her, but I'm gonna wait until she gets discounted, maybe with some free shipping. Because right now for her,
this body is not capable of action. I suggest new leadership is needed.
that was the wrong meme. I wanted, well, actually, that was. I was gonna. Oh, that was the vote of no confidence meme. I give her a vote of no confidence. I don't think she's gonna sell out right away.
I don't think so.
The Koska Reeves and the Axe Wolves, they're gonna sit for a while. He's part of that Death Mandalorian. They're gonna sit.
I mean, if we look at the Death Watch, I mean, they're sitting, and Death Watch is the same price as $235 as the Axe Wolf. So I think it's pretty safe to say that these 3 will sit on Sides's website for a pretty good amount of time. So I wouldn't worry too much about them.
Yeah. I love Fennec Shan. She's a great deal. She's more of a badass. Let's see how much you love her when she's going up against all the other Star Wars. Because what else is being dropped around that time? You have to decisions. Oh, look at that. I mean, you got some clone troopers coming up and
Repaint, Boba Fett.
You got deep fake Luke coming up, and you got the swoop bikes. Wasn't there a meme with a swoop bike? So you kids can recreate.
I don't think so. I haven't seen that.
Don't you want to? Like isn't that that's the meme?
You could.
So you want to do that? Yeah. So it sounds like it's going to be a win for a super yes for us. But we're going to play the Hong Kong pre-order. We're not going to day one pre-order. Let's wait till it drops and then strike upon.
For sure.
That would be there's just way too much. There's way too much.
It's a lot.
Way too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end the stream here. KG,
of course.
This is how I work. Very spontaneous. You anybody that catches me in the right time, that's how it works. I wish I could work by schedules, but it's hard.
Yeah. Of course.
You can ask Anthony, PJ, who's the other one? Optical. I'll just shoot.
Optical
I'll
28.
just text them a link. I go, you guys awake? You guys want to hang out? And they're like, I'm sleeping, Denobi. It's like 2 in the morning.
2 in the
So,
morning, yeah.
that's
The
how
East
it
Coast time, it's very different for them, for sure. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
I thought you were in Jersey though. I thought that's where you were.
No, I'm in California right now. So
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, really quick. Let's end it. Are you getting the
Yeah.
classic suit, Spidey, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a must-have for me.
Did you
paid it
pre-order
off.
them?
Yeah, I pre-ordered them close to the release of the date. So I didn't pre-order them day one, but I did pre-order towards.
Okay, I pre-ordered him through a local comic book shop. So I will be getting him. I don't need him right away, but I definitely want this classic version. Because again, just the ideas that I've just. I mean,
it's a versatile figure.
I mean, those just the extra tentacles that you're going to get. You can have them spewing out of the building here. You have the scorpion tail. Why not have a couple of Doc? Can you imagine? You know what? I'll bet you. If I'm clever enough, I can modify a hidden base where the arms will actually support Spidey through the wall. How about that? The extra arms because the deluxe. So
I mean, this figure is such a versatile figure, Denobi. You can put this with any villain. I mean, I can't wait to put this guy next to Carnage, Venom. I mean, it's gonna be because I'm looking at this as a comic book figure. I'm not looking at this as a video game. I don't care about the video game. I care about the comics, the cartoons. I mean, if you look at the final product, they're using a lot of poses from the 90s television show Spider-Man, and they're using a lot from the comic book adaptation of it. So for me, this is a must-have, Denobi. I think honestly, as much as because like you said, everything will sell, but I think this will sell well compared to the other Spider-Man figures. To me personally, I don't know about you, Denobi, but I think
this is a definitive version, a true representation from anybody that even though it is based off of the video game, which I love, the PS4 game. There's a lot of potential here. I mean, just look at this base.
It's amazing.
So there's going to be tons of potential. It's going to be a huge hit. To end it on the whole Doc Ock situation, I'm still sold on it, even on the crappy head sculpt. Howard Chan or JC Hung or somebody said, look, it's not the final head sculpt. We get it. We need to work on it. I'm gonna take a leap of faith. I'm gonna believe them. I'm not gonna day one.
Give them benefit of the doubt.
Get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, Denobi, how are you with posing Spider-Man figures? Are you scared when it comes to posing them, leaving them in long-term poses, or are you just like, just put them in the pose?
I very minimalistic. You know, is my. Let me see if I can't reach it. This is, let me show you something here really quick. See if I can align that camera here. Oh, battery's about to die in a second, but hold on.
I'll take your time.
I think it, hold on. Let me grab another battery. Hold on.
No, you take your time. Take your time.
I'm going to show you how I have it set up here. I'll show you how it's a little bit crowded though, but this extra battery should do.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
All right, and once the camera kicks in, there it is. Boom.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Oh, with the
wow.
Tag on there. There you go.
That's impressive.
There you go. And that is the label. Oh, you know the logo's on there. Let me see if I can remove the banner. Let me see. The Brandon. Will it not let me take it? Oh, it won't let me remove it. I was trying to remove the sticker.
No, it's fine. I could see what you have here, man. It's amazing.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
Trying to get that, but you can still see it. But yeah, that's how I have it set up there. And then the light boxes in the Spider-Verse and so forth.
That's really good. Yeah. It's so you do like minimal posing. You don't do too much, but it's simple but effective.
Yeah, because I don't trust the material. If the material gives me the ability to do so, then yes, I'll adapt. You know, but
yeah. It's pretty
if
impressive
anything, there,
display.
I mean, yeah. Can you see like the skull inside the Mysterio? Can you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. Yeah, that's amazing. It's
Yeah.
really well
So
done.
very minimal. It's very like and then I also throttled the amount of Spider-Mans that are coming in there because it was starting to
Right.
get a little bit crowded. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
try to juggle.
Yeah.
Denobi, what are those tubes in the lights side with the lights inside? Oh, those are the Spider-Man Hall of Chambers. They open and close. I think I have the remote control here. Let me see. I think I do. Maybe? No. Oh, I don't know what I did with the remote control. Yeah, so they're remote control based. I don't know what I did with them. I do with a team controller. Oh, I think this is one of them here. I think this is one of them. I don't know. I have to look for it. They're remote control. The actual chambers they open and they close.
Okay.
But yeah, that's pretty much that's what it looks like.
Yeah, that's good.
Where they come from? They were a third party. I forgot the company. They are a third party Hall of Chamber designed specifically for Spider-Man. I think they were only $100. And when they were released, they instantly sold out. The company no longer makes them. They're actually worth a pretty penny, but they are remote control. They do open and close on them.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is I typically try to keep the Fisons away from the license figures, but that one is a review I did. And I'm supposed to swap it out with a Mary Jane. So that's supposed to be Mary Jane and so forth. That's who he's referring to. Yeah.
Are you
they
picking up
like transporters? Yeah.
Are you picking up the third party Mary Jane from Far From Home, the Zendaya version? I know they did a third party version of that, right? What was it? Forgot what her name was.
I don't mind the heads because I will fight some Kit Bash. I don't mind the third party because that's the whole idea of a Fison body, male or female, that you can generate and create your own characters using just your imagination. So when it comes to Fisons and TV League bodies, that I've never had. I mean, if I can create just a background character or just an extra person, and that's supposed to be Mary Jane, and I actually have the head sculpt somewhere. I don't know. I have it somewhere around here. I have a Mary Jane head sculpt. I just haven't gotten around time to swapping it out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But as far as posing, I'm more into the scene. I like building sets. So it's not so much about posing and constantly posing them. It's like, can I create like a Spidey lab where they can exist and so forth?
Right. So,
so that's how
it's
that
impressive.
Mm-hmm. So, everybody, it is 11 o'clock. I work tomorrow. That's why it's always a little bit, but this was fun. KG, I appreciate it. Absolutely. Course, and everybody, it's been, hopefully I did my part and try to calm the masses down when it came to,
you always do, we always do. You always do.
You gotta be like Logic, because that's gonna be debated for the next, week, right? Because there's Hot Toys is back open again. That's why they so
they're open back.
Some more drops.
Yeah,
so
might be.
Yeah, and it'll be fun. Did you buy that very cool black cat cash? I'm done, folks. No more questions. KG, thank you so much. Did you want to say goodbye, KG? Anything going on? Or?
Yeah, nothing much on my channel. As always, Denobi, thank you. This is my first time on Denobi's channel. As always, I've been a huge fan of your channel since day one. So, nothing going on with my channel, man. Just, joining a live streams like yours now, and like Anthony's, Will's, Wants to Skill, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. I am getting Pennywise pretty soon. I'm getting it on Tuesday.
I think I'm getting mine tomorrow.
I'm getting mine on Tuesday, so I'll be that'll come on Tuesday. But yeah, that's it. Yeah. That's it for me. So
thank you, folks. Let's. I gotta find. Where's my meme? I need my meme. I need it. Where's my favorite? That's my trade.
In chess, the pawns go first.
Humans and their guns.
First time.